Good morning and welcome back to a fine and frosty morning on the Fylde coast. It's absolutely beautiful, but I tell you what, it's cold. 0.5 degrees it said on the car thermometer. We're at Fleetwood this morning, so this is the next instalment of the Wyre Beach Management Scheme, and this is the Fleetwood bit that I think everybody's been getting a bit confused about. So I'm gonna take you for a walk around and I'm going to show you exactly what's happening. So I've just been following these guys. This is one of the site foremen from Wyre Beach. I'm stalking him. I keep asking him questions to just double check one or two things. I'm going to show you what's happening with the compound. I'm going to show you what's happening on the beach, and I'm going to fill all those gaps in that you've been wanting to know the answers to. So don't forget to subscribe. Make sure if you get talking to anybody in conversation that you point them in this direction, because I know people are interested in what's happening and like to understand. So do I. And we'll go see what we can see on this beautiful day. I thought I'd start here and I'll orientate you. I've never noticed that sign says Kirkham on it. Mr. Moon's still out, look. Dirty stop out. So this is the roundabout on Fleetwood seafront at the side of the Sea Cadets. That's Fleetwood Cemetery just over the fence, and this is the little roundabout I've just mentioned. These are the boating lakes over here. This is the seaside bit of Fleetwood. This is the bottom end of the Lake District and Morecambe Bay. Beautiful spot. And this is the Log Cabin Cafe. So anybody local will know that there is a field at the side of the Log Cabin Cafe, and you can just see over the back of that fence, that's the Russell Tower. And this field is, for the next couple of years, going to be used as a compound for the north part of the Wyre Beach Management Scheme. So if you've been following these videos, you'll know that I've already done loads of them about what's happening at Cleveland's, because it's already well underway. In fact, quite a bit of it's already done. And this is the next bit. This is the bit at Fleetwood end. So I'm going to just walk down here while I tell you about the scheme and what they're doing. So the whole scheme, if you've not found out yet, is a £40 million beach management scheme. So it's not actually building any big concrete sea defences or anything like that. It's all about stabilising the beach and making sure that it maintains a good sea defence, because a high beach, when I say a high beach, I mean a lot of shingle and a lot of pebbles and a lot of sand, is the thing that makes us safe. It protects us from big waves and overtopping and flooding and all the stuff that we really, really don't want. So it's all about stabilising the beach, allowing it to build up, and then keeping it in place. So it protects us from flooding, but it also protects us from erosion. So it's all rocks. There's a big compound going to be built here. The fence, as you can see, has already come up. And I'm walking down here because I'm going to show you where the footpath access is. So throughout the duration of the works, your access to the beach will be at this side of the compound. So this footpath here, along the side of the compound, this is going to be your access into the beach for the duration of the works, because obviously this is going to be fenced off. So there's a little bit of field here where you'll be able to picnic and play and do whatever it is that you want to do. So the rocks will be delivered here, much like they're delivered at Cleveland's in big lorries, and they'll come into this gate, and in the side there's a teardrop shaped road which the lorries will follow in a one-way system, and they'll come in, they'll drop the rocks, they'll go around there, and they'll come back out the other gate, which is just up there, which I'll show you in a minute. And then there's the other side of the teardrop that comes round here to form a teardrop shape is the one-way route for the traffic, which is going to go out onto site, and the entrance to the site is just down there. So that's what's happening. The site compound is going to be finished by the end of March 2024. The officers are arriving sometime December, so there'll be a couple of site officers for the staff that are working on this end of the scheme. Rocks will start arriving at the end of February, early March 2024, and they'll be working on the beach for just over a year, 18 months-ish, up until the summer of 2025. And then when they're finished on the beach, they'll start demobilising the compound and they'll restore it to a field, and you can come back to doing whatever it is you want to do. They'll put it back exactly as they found it, take the road up, full shooting match, back to grass. So this is the out gate, and that will shortly be transformed into something that looks totally different to that. Beach access will be maintained throughout, so although this access here will be closed while the workmen are working, I'm going to take you over there in a minute and explain that bit, you'll still be able to use the beach and walk up and down the beach much like you can at Cleveland's. So this section of car park will remain open throughout, so you can still come and park here and walk your dog and go on the beach and whatnot. Got the signs up, look, saying partial car park closure. Goodness me, I'm told this morning, aren't I? That's a very long shadow. So from a beach user's point of view, it's not going to make a lot of difference, except there'll be trucks about, which is actually quite interesting. I've really enjoyed it. I know I'm weird. I know, say it before you say it. I've enjoyed watching them at Cleveland's, and I know a lot of other people have. So if you've got any little kids, or big kids even, that like diggers and dumpers and trucks and things, this is where you need to bring them. There'll be plenty to watch. So this is going to be the access route into the beach. So they're going to widen this gap here, probably take that nib off and make a road that takes you into the compound so that the dumper trucks can bring the rocks onto the beach. They'll be delivered into the site compound by the lorries that bring them from Shap in the Lake District, and then they'll be brought onto the beach by the little, what we call tonker trucks, that have got big wheels and can tip. So they'll come through here. Oh, lordy gordy, that is bitter. And this is where they're going to be working. This is where they're going to be working. So this is the lovely beach at Russell Seafront. So it gets a bit confusing because the job that they did and finished in 2018 down there is Russell School to the golf course. So that's Russell. That's Russell Tower that you can see here. Just slightly beyond Russell Tower is the actual Russell Point, which is the point on the coast. And this is part of the beach at Russell. So they're calling this Russell North for the purposes of knowing what they're talking about. And look at that for a view. So that's over to Lancaster and Morecambe and Barrow. That's the nuclear power plant at Heysham, that white building. It's very clear. It's no wonder though, it's so cold. So cold. And if you're lost, Sea Cadets is the reference that you use. This is all the instructions, look. Beware of incoming tides and beware of deep water. You need to be really careful on this beach because it clatters in at a pace, does the tide. Anyway, what are they going to do? So they're going to put tow revetment in, tow protection, like they've done at Russell Beach at Cleveland. I told you it gets confusing. So there's going to be rocks positioned along the seawall in that direction. So these old sea walls go underneath. They go underneath and they come out wherever they come out. They're all slightly different depending on when they were built. So it might extend to about there, or it might come a bit further, or it might be right near the wall. They'll come to the end of the original sea defences and they'll put a line of rocks in that goes that way along the seawall, and that protects the bottom of the concrete on this seawall. And then these old wooden groins will be replaced with rock groins. So the groins themselves will be made out of a mix of limestone and granite, and it comes from somewhere. I'm going to get my geography all wrong here, aren't I? I'm going to show myself up. It comes from somewhere over yonder, somewhere over there. So the limestone and the granite are similar in density. So the limestone is at the top of the density scale and the granite is at the bottom of the density scale for granite. So the rocks are of a similar hardness so that they don't abrade unevenly. Look at all the birds. It's lovely around here. It's really quiet and nice. It's lovely. And they're spaced at 100 to 195 metres apart, and that varies slightly as you come round the curve of the peninsula. And the actual groins themselves are 100 metres long. So if you look at the end of the groin field when everything's finished, you end up with the ends of the groins sort of forming a line if you were to join them all together. The groins will join up to the tow protection, so they'll come inland and then they'll join the rocks that come this way. And between them, they will reduce the energy of the waves in the onshore area. It allows the sand to drop out of suspension in the water. And then the beach builds up, and it's the beach and the sand that is the sea defence. And I'm sure you would all agree that we would hate to be in another piece of British coastal area where there is no flood defence strategy and the coastline is just left to crumble away. Because I know I would. That must be awful. So we've got to be grateful for coastal protection. And that's the same principle that these dunes work on as well. So they also do quite a fundamental job in protecting the seawall. So that's today's story from a very, very cold Fleetwood seafront, but lovely. I could just enjoy going for a long walk now. If you want to know anything, I'm in the venue on Cleveland seafront on a Thursday morning between 9 and 12, which is where I'm... So I'll see you later. Bye for now.